Welcome to our channel, everyone. Today we're going to explore Greece, the place that gave mankind democracy, physics, and one of the biggest sporting events ever. Not to mention all the sage-like philosophers whose wisdom has stood the test of time, despite their very large beards. It is a land of wonder and awe, and nothing short of excitement and learning awaits you on your trip in Greece. So if you want to know the best places to visit in Greece, here are the top 10 you have to go and see. Number 10. Mount Olympus. We've heard stories of the Greek gods, these lively and somewhat sinister personalities who like to meddle in human affairs, while having a little something on the side with the ladies, that ultimately ends in tragedy. These are gods like Zeus, Apollo, Hermes, Athena, and a couple of others with quite fascinating stories in Greek mythology. These gods were all said to be residing in Mount Olympus, the tallest mountain in Greece. Situated somewhere between Athens and Thessaloniki, Mount Olympus is the ideal hiking location. It stands at almost 3,000 feet and has a view of the surrounding landscape that is just simply breathtaking. There are quite a few paths that lead to the mountain, so you can take whichever you prefer. A trip to Mount Olympus will be giving you a great experience, and even though the journey might be somewhat arduous and stressful, the view on top of the mountain is well worth the work. Number 9. Paros. Paros is one of those islands that used to get overlooked due to neighboring islands like Santorini, but now many people are starting to see the great treasures that Paros has to offer. Paros is a cycladic island with a host of attractions. You can visit the town of Nasa, which has one of the most beautiful ports you have ever seen. It's a town that has retained much of its historic look and Hellen architecture. There are places like the Chapel of St. Nicholas, which has a beautiful blue dome, and the array of eccentric bars and restaurants that serve amazing delicacies, usually based on seafood. There are also places like the Parikia and Lefkes village, which have their own peculiar vibe. The great beaches such as Santa Maria and Columberthrus, which are great for relaxing and having some beach fun. And if you're looking for a place to stay, it's highly recommended that you stay at the boutique hotel. The feeling there is sublime. Number 8. Corinth. Speaking of places with amazing views, Corinth, the city that succeeded the ancient city of Corinthia, is also an interesting place in the land of the Greeks. Not only does it have fascinating buildings and temples that have stood there for thousands of years, but it has other pristine locations that are pivotal in human history. Like the archaeological site known as Ancient Corinth, this was a powerful city during the Roman era, not to mention being the place that inspired the Apostle Paul to write 2 of his books in Christendom. There are also places like the Acrocorinth, a fortified hilltop with a road that looks a lot like the Great Wall of China. There's also the Museum of Stympalia, a museum dedicated not to the preservation of art exhibits, but the preserving of an eco-region in Corinth, the region being Stympalia Lake and the fields of green surrounding it. It's one of those places that's just aesthetically pleasing to see and the perfect location for relaxing. But of all the places in Corinth, the Corinth Canal is a clear favorite of many, having a great panoramic display and tasteful appearance. It's quite satisfying when you see it first. And if you're the type who likes a good adrenaline rush, you can go bungee jumping from the 70 feet high canal. Number 7. Mykonos. You should know that Greece is an island nation. There are more than 6,000 islands in Greece, and yet one particular island remains popular among tourists, and that's the island of Mykonos. More specifically, the town of Mykonos. It's not exactly clear if it is the friendliness of the people or the warmth of the beaches or the vibrant nightlife of the Mykonos town, but everyone seems to love it. Mykonos has some exciting locations like Kato Mills, the island of Delos, which was once believed to be flying, or the amazing beaches such as Paradise Beach and Elias Beach. If you're an art buff, I suggest you go see Little Venice, an area where artists meet and showcase their work and crafts. There's also the religious center known as Panagia Paraportiani, which has an incredible array of white churches, and by that I mean the churches are all painted white for some reason. Yet it is quite fascinating to see. Number 6. Thessaloniki. This is the second biggest city in all of Greece, overlooking the Aegean Sea. Thessaloniki has always been a city with cultural diversity, due to its peculiar location. Thessaloniki is ideally known for its Byzantine structures that stand as monuments in the city. There's the Rotunda of Galerius, which was built in the 4th century. It was meant to be a mausoleum until it was turned into a church. The interior of the Rotunda is decorated with gorgeous mosaic pieces, and it even operates a sculpture museum. Other great places in Thessaloniki are the White Tower, the Arch of Galerius, the Museum of Thessaloniki, and the Museum of Macedonian Struggle. But if you want to enjoy the surreal vibe of the city, I recommend visiting the upper town of Thessaloniki, known as Anopoli, with great curving streets and magnificent town walls. You get all that and more when you visit Thessaloniki. Number 5. Crete. Probably one of the best vacation spots in Greece, Crete is one size fits all if you're looking to have a great time. Crete is famed for having some of the best beaches in the nation of Greece. A beach that gets you excited when you visit, a large expanse of gold sand, clear waters, and views that you can't help but appreciate. But Crete has a lot more to offer than just beaches. Crete has incredible pieces of architecture like the famed Palace of Knossos, which is found near Heraklion, one of Crete's amazing cities. There are places like Chania, Rethymno, and of course the beautiful Agios Nikolaos. These are the places to be if you want to get in touch with the more modern side of Greece. And if you feel like enjoying the thrill of nature, I recommend visiting Samaria Gorge, where you can get a more naturalistic experience. In Samaria Gorge, you'll find the Samaria National Park, which is great for hiking and sightseeing. Although I recommend taking enough supplies, as hiking in Samaria can be somewhat stressful given how much walking you'll have to do. Number 4. Delphi. In ancient Greek mythology, they say people from far and wide would journey to a particular place to hear the tales of their future. In this place there was an oracle who was touched by the god of prophecy, Apollo, and in the stories, those who came to this place barely ever had a good time. To be honest, that place was called Delphi. It was a home of music, culture, and oracles that almost always foretold doom in your future while speaking in ways that almost made no sense. But the whole oracle thing is just a very small part of Delphi. Now people don't go to understand their future. They go to observe amazing relics from the past, like the fabulous temples and ruins that are found almost everywhere in Delphi. There's the incredible ancient theater that can seat up to 5,000 people. It was a place where musical concerts and Pythian games occurred. There's even an ancient stadium and other magnificent structures like the Tholos and the Temple of Apollo, and of course the exquisite Delphi Archaeological Museum. Delphi is a hub of great Greek infrastructure that just highlights the sophistication of the Greeks, despite their obsession with shady oracles. Number 3. Corfu. If you want to know where some of the most beautiful places in the whole of Greece are, then you're looking for Corfu, and don't take our word for it, because Corfu is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site, meant to be preserved and untouched. Corfu is an island in Greece, and like many islands, it has a wide array of towns and villages, most notably Corfu town, with its beautiful Italian-style architecture that's present there because the Venetians lived in Corfu centuries ago. It's a kind of place that speaks to you. It manages to deliver an old yet satisfying experience with its antiquated cafes and villas. But the best part of Corfu is not in the towns. It's in the rest of the island. Corfu has an amazing landscape. There are limestone rocks, there's a lush covering of green, fascinating caves, and beautiful beaches next to clear blue water. That just looks unreal. You'll find yourself being one with nature when you take it all in. Corfu gives you a truly calming experience. Number 2. Santorini. This is one of those places that have gotten too big for its breeches. It's the kind of place that likes to make a statement like, we know you think we're beautiful, and we know we are. Santorini has some of the most stunning houses and settlements you'll ever see in Greece. It's amazing how you can never get tired of the fact that most buildings are painted white, with blue roofs, and somehow the aesthetic works. The most popular location in Santorini are Fira, Santorini's capital, and Oia, a place famous for its amazing sunsets. And of course there's modern Akrotiri, which is actually near the old Akrotiri, a town that was buried by lava. There's still the beautiful caldera, which is a volcanic crater that's filled up with water. And then there's the Red Beach and its unusual landscape. It's honestly unlike any other beach that you've ever seen thanks to the red cliffs that are behind it. Number 1. Athens. This last place needs no introduction. It's the most famous city in Greece. Athens is not just a heritage to the Greeks, it's a heritage to the world. It is a land that formed the foundation of our modern way of thinking, a site for ancient wisdom, and its relics are still there to show that. If you're ever in Athens, you absolutely have to visit the Acropolis, with its temples that have been around since the 5th century BC. The most notable of them all is the Parthenon, the place that saw the birth of democracy. But that's not all. There's also the Acropolis Museum with the most sublime exhibits like the Moscha Paros and the Caryatids, and of course the well-known Parthenon marbles. There are so many things to do in Athens. You can visit neighborhoods like Plaka and Anaphiotika. You can check out the ancient Agora or market and observe how the ancient Greeks handle business. It's honestly up to you. These are the top 10 places that you absolutely have to visit during your time in Greece. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Check out other videos, and thank you so much for watching.